if we say something slanderous, then do we both get sued?
I think the company gets sued.
Oh, the company, Quality Irrelevant Incorporated.
Yeah, I think we can fire ourselves, and then it's just the company is left on its own. I think that's how that works. That's a bit of legalese there.
What is liquidation? Can we do that?
Yeah, we'll just liquidate, and then that'll solve our problems.
Liquidating is clocking out early and going to the pub, right?
And they can't prosecute you if you're in the pub, so...
No, that's legal. That's legally binding.
Yeah, damn right.
Oh my god, this is gold.
We do actually have a week on business, and that is going to be a fucking tragedy right there. Oh shit, I guess we've sort of begun.
Have we? Is this it now?
This is now it.
Oh, this is terrible. Why is this it?
We still haven't mastered the art of the funny bit at the beginning to get people interested.
I do enjoy the fact that you're still committed to this idea, even though this is week 6 now. We've never once managed it.
I suppose what I could always do is take something from the end and put it at the beginning and pretend, and they'll never know.
They'll never know.
Except I also do have a habit of refusing to edit out our fuck-ups.
It's like punk rock or jazz.
That's far too clever for us.
The fuck-ups make it good for reasons that nobody outside of those circles really understands, but everyone just sort of nods and smiles and just goes, yes, yeah, it's just a mark of quality how they're so shit.
Oh, are they Cleves-like?
I think they are quite Cleves-esque.
I think we do need to resurrect Cleves. He hasn't had a look-in on this podcast since like week 2. We sort of forgot the idea very, very quickly, but I think we can introduce him back and, shame and admonish him.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that I think we have massively neglected our number one fan. Harasser, whatever you want to call them.
Looking at the way we conduct business, I have yet to really see a difference between the two. And we've got more harassment coming up fairly soon where, we write more letters and... sorry, what's a term that sounds less mental? Because when you say, I've been writing letters to someone, that sounds pretty suspect.
It sounds like you don't leave the house and all you do is write complaint letters to, companies that make microwave dinners and just go, there's too much mince in this lasagna. It is unacceptable to me. Please take it back or give me a coupon for free microwave lasagna.
I feel like you've stolen my pitch for later on, so we're going to swiftly move over that. And, God, we should teach a business class. Anyway, that will come up in schemes. So, we are now in what I'm calling preamble.
This is the official preamble stage of the podcast.
It's the unofficial official preamble stage. I'm not putting it on the running order, but everyone knows that, there's a bit of preamble before the first region, so...
This is very much the foreplay of the podcast.
Sort of get them in the mood.
Yeah, I mean, if we just went straight into... I don't know, schemes. I think our viewers would feel in some way violated. They want us to flirt with them a bit.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to break up in the atmosphere, whereby coming in far too hard. We've got to, what is it that astronauts do? They sort of seduce the Earth or something before they can enter.
I literally don't know what you're talking about.
It's something to do with when they're coming out of the space station, they've got to, they can't just jump out and say, right, I'm off, see you tomorrow, Les. I assume someone who works there is called Les. Because then when they get to the Earth bit, they sort of catch fire and sort of incinerate. They don't get to the ground. They sort of it's too much. They come in too hard, and that's not a pun. Or a euphemism.
Some sort of double entendre.
Are we allowed those on this podcast? I don't think we are.
Is there a rule against them?
I think if we do them deliberately, that is us attempting to be funny, which is us attempting to rise above our limitations, which I know is not allowed.
I think you refer to it as a mortal sin of the podcast.
Okay, well, fuck the preamble, fuck the sexual metaphor for the Earth or whatever the hell I was going on about there. Fuck that whole thing. But not in a sex way, in a perfectly literal way. And preamble, where are you this week?
Well, it's interesting that you would bring up the space station because I I'm still in my Punisher van and it crashed on the side of the road. I think I might have distracted Micro a little bit too much.
Who the fuck is Micro?
My driver.
Oh, for some reason I thought he was called Mavis. Anyway.
Mavis?
Please continue.
I feel like it would be better if he was called Mavis. The Punisher's just going, Mavis, I need my guns. And there's like a little old lady just going, oh, guns and tea.
Well, does it matter because she's dead now?
She is dead. Micro/Mavis is unfortunately deceased. The Punisher van just crashed like 10 minutes ago. Pretty much just as you made me start recording this thing.
Well, you're not allowed to leave.
I can't really. It sort of rolled into a sort of a mini canyon. I'm sort of pinned. There is a butterfly knife that has lodged into my inner thigh. I seem to be losing a fair amount of blood.
What's the difference between a canyon and a ravine?
I've lost too much blood at this stage to answer questions like that. Please keep your questions and comments basic for the remainder of the podcast.
Okay, well, we'll set up like a PayPal or a Patreon or something so people can donate blood or whatever. Are you allowed to donate blood on the internet? I think it's probably fine. Or at least some gauze, or I nearly said swaddling, but I'm pretty sure swaddling is only for babies. Do you swaddle wounds?
If anybody wants to swaddle me, I could do with a bit of comfort in this hour of need where I'm essentially dying but still recording a podcast.
Oh, well, I don't fancy that. That sounds, well, you're in a doozy.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring the podcast down at such an early stage. So whereabouts are you?
Oh, I'm still in the spider dungeon.
You haven't managed to make it out of there.
Oh, no. I am happy right here.
Oh, you're sort of settled in the spider dungeon.
Yeah. I mean, everything is now sort of burned up in here, so it's nice and empty. It's quite roomy now. It's quite bare. I did have some worries about the cadaver, sort of like health and smell related issues, but turns out the spiders nested in the head of the cadaver, ate the eyeballs, and all the spiders seems to have sprouted from the corpse, and they ate it. So it's just a skeleton really at this point. It's sort of charred, burned remains of the poor soul who used to live here. So, I don't see why I won't be able to stay here for the long term, at least until the locals sort of give up with the sniffer dogs and the burning torches and the pitchforks. I don't really know why they need pitchforks. They're definitely not gardening forks. Gardening forks have like the 3 or 4 prongs. These have like the 2 quite wide and quite sharp prongs that I'm not entirely sure what that's used for.
I think it's used for transporting bales of hay. I am unsure of where one would purchase a pitchfork in this day and age. I don't see much call in sort of day-to-day life for moving and transporting hay bales. Maybe there's some sort of discount farmer warehouse somewhere.
Oh no, they've set up a little stall. All they seem to sell is pitchforks and torches.
And maps to your spider dungeon.
They're not really using maps, but they do have posters with just a sort of a crude, what's the word I'm looking for? Not
visage?
Visage. A crude visage of my face drawn with what looks like to be a bit of charcoal on like some old tattered parchment. And it just says him at the top. So they're handing out a lot of those. They're all the rage. I should get myself a few if I could find a free moment to scrabble out and get in line.
It would be a nice memento.
Yeah, of this sort of
ongoing torment.
Yeah, like we all go through different stages of our life, right? And the worst possible thing to have is regret. Never regret. Never have regrets. No matter what you do, no matter how badly you piss up, no matter what transgressions you commit, never regret.
What about if you accidentally, but it is still sort of your fault, but you get your balls out in a children's playground? Should you regret that at any point?
Well, it depends. Are you doing this to be sort of suggestive, or are you just trying to have an improv brain party?
It's neither, really. It's a sort of, you were scratching and you didn't realise how hard you were scratching, how sort of vigorous. and you manage to rip through your jeans with your own fingernails, and both of your testicles sort of flopped out of the hole. The penis didn't come with them. That is an important thing to remember.
So the flopper didn't come with the danglers?
No, just the danglers, just chilling out, just sort of swinging in the breeze. But there's upwards of 34 children in the playground and a police car going by. So it's not technically your fault that you have your testicles out in the children's playground, but to a casual onlooker or the police, I mean, there's no way of getting around it. You are going on a register should you regret that.
What I think you're trying to tell me here is that you are the victim. You are the real victim here.
I would just like to point out, this isn't me. This is a hypothetical man with hypothetical testicles.
What's his name?
Cleves.
I am starting to suspect that may be the only other name you know, but we'll go with that.
Well, you are judging me quite harshly for someone who is currently gushing blood out of my leg.
Oh, that's true. I did forget about your leg wound. Are you upside down by any chance? Did the van sort of roll and you're kind of now suspended? Because I imagine that would make the blood flow a lot faster.
It's difficult to tell. I'm a little bit disoriented. I may be upside down. It's very dark in here. I've sort of managed to feel it out in my leg. It's definitely a butterfly knife that is lodged in there. I fear if I pull it out, it will stop stemming the blood flow and I'll bleed out even quicker.
Ugh.
I haven't come across any kind of contextual clues as to whether or not I'm upside down.
What you could do, because I can't remember my basic medical training, don't ask me why I have that. If pulling out the knife turns out to be a bad idea, you could always just put it back in.
My concern with that is that I will put it back in, but I will miss the original hole, and I just end up continually stabbing myself in the inner thigh with a butterfly knife, just like over and over again until my leg sort of looks like economy turkey mince that is also very, very bloody. Like raw, dripping turkey mince. And I don't really want that. I feel like it would sort of add insult to injury. Well, it would be injury to injury, I think. Because I'm quite injured already. I don't really want to add multiple stab wounds to my list of current injuries.
Okay, well...
I may have brain damage.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you got that in episode 1, so... It probably improves the quality of the show.
It is a theme of this podcast that I lose blood in several episodes. I had a fairly hefty nosebleed in episode 1. Now I'm bleeding out of my brachial artery. I think that's the one in your leg.
I wouldn't know. I don't have any medical training.
I thought you had basic medical training. You just said.
I think that's all the blood fell, dear. You're losing your grip on reality. What I'll do, right, for the sake of the podcast, I'll try and lure one of the angry locals. I'll try and lure him into the ravine. So when he inevitably falls down and breaks something, he'll send up a quick signal flare, and that should attract the rest of them, and then you will at least be found. And as long as you don't acknowledge any association with me, we might be all right.
What if they find me while I am in the process of recording a podcast with you?
Plead the fifth?
I think they will understand that there is no closer bond between two human people than co-hosts on a very unpopular podcast.
We're not unpopular.
We're quite unpopular.
No, we're just not popular. There's a difference.
Okay.
It's like, are you famous or infamous? You're not necessarily one if you're not the other. This actually gets onto the topic of the week, which we will get to at the end. So, well, I would say write this idea down, but if you've got a bit of cloth, just scroll it in your blood, and we'll get back to this.
Okay. What am I supposed to write?
I've already forgotten, but we can go back to the recording.
Hang on. You're not one thing if you're not another thing.
Exactly. Right, I think that's enough preamble. We can now move on to recriminations and sentiments.
I have uncovered some sentiments for us this week. I have 3 of them. I'm going to leave it up to you which one I read first. Pick a number between 1 and 3.
Does 0 come between 1 and 3?
No.
And
don't bring algebra into it. Don't say N or anything like that.
What the hell is algebra?
I don't know. I heard a school child talking about it it while rolling a page of his exercise book into some form of drug-taking vehicle.
You really have lost a lot of blood. Anyway, 3.
Okay, sentiment number 3. There are many things I'd rather do than listen to Quality Irrelevant, but drinking extra strength drain cleaner out of a champagne flute isn't not one of them.
That is a fan right there. That's a reference and all, except if he was a fan, he'd know we don't like references here.
We don't like references. We are against callbacks. We resent meta humour. You have to be very self-assured to engage in meta commentary.
Yeah, and that is not us. We're very insecure men.
Oh, so insecure. I don't know why we keep picking up all the recriminations, because we're so insecure. I think we might end up killing ourselves.
I don't think that will make them stop.
I feel very dizzy right now.
Anyway, okay, sentiment 1.
Sentiment 1. Quality Irrelevant is like a moisturised hand cupping your balls. Only in a non-sexually threatening way. And also it is a podcast. Actually, it's more like a podcast than anything else, so forget the ball cupping thing. Someone is cupping my balls right now. So I think that's good.
I quite like that guy. Or girl. We don't judge here.
No.
They.
Yep.
Could be more than one.
Keep it non-gender specific. We're very inclusive here in Quality Irrelevant.
Although, if there is more than one of you, can you leave separate reviews? Because we really could. And only if they're positive.
Yeah, come on. Bump the numbers up.
Yeah, come on. Jesus Christ. You could at least give us an extra... Oh.
So ungrateful.
Fucking selfish bastards. Okay, block them as well. They're blocked. Okay.
Yeah, they're blocked.
Yeah, right. We won't hear from you again. Jesus.
I mean, I blocked them as soon as the message came through.
Well, good. Well done.
But I didn't even read it. I just thought, well, this is never going to be anything good, so I just blocked it.
That's some good initiative there, Phil. I may have to promote you.
Well, do it quickly, because I'm going to die soon. Okay, so the final sentiment, that's sentiment number 2. Quality Irrelevant is the exact opposite of a sharpened toothbrush to the kidney, except that it causes the same amount of irreparable damage to your body.
I quite like that one.
Yeah.
That guy gets us.
Yeah, that was not blocked. Except he did also send us a photo of both of us with sharpened toothbrushes in our kidneys. Ugh. So I'm considering blocking him as well.
Maybe we could just send him a t-shirt.
He doesn't specify whether he is Team Phil or Team Theo.
Well, actually, we have a neutral t-shirt.
Team this.
Okay, we now have another neutral t-shirt.
Is it Team this, and then the slogan is carry on then?
There is a t-shirt that just says, this isn't a reference on it.
I enjoy that.
I like it because it actually is a reference.
It is. We're very meta in that way.
Didn't we just say we hate that?
Did we, though? Did we?
Now I feel like I'm the one missing a lot of blood.
Well, that's pretty much how most people who have an extended conversation with me feel.
I just have the one recrimination this week.
How emotionally hurtful is it?
I have redacted a lot of it.
Okay.
So, in its entirety, it now reads, hey.
Is that it?
Yeah, and then the rest is redacted. I didn't feel it was appropriate to say the rest of it on here. Essentially, the gist was, and I mean, okay, this is the only time we're going to talk about this, all right?
Are we going to be able to redact this section of the podcast?
The fact you just mentioned that means we cannot.
Okay.
So this will be the only time we talk about this. We've had an accusation that we are similar to other podcasts.
Does this person know just how incredibly hurtful we will find that accusation?
I don't know. I don't know what is going through their fucking mind.
Because if they know us even at all, they will know that that is pretty much the worst thing you can say to us.
And the reason why their review has been redacted so much is that they dared to mention the names of other podcasts. You will never hear us utter the name of another podcast on this podcast, ever.
Unless I am reading out a review of one of them and claiming it as our own.
But I didn't hear that.
Well, I might say it again.
Well,
because I enjoy making the edit of this a complete nightmare for you.
It really... Oh, God, it's a gauntlet. Anyway, just so you know, legal has been contacted. Lawyers, they've all been informed.
Our veritable legion of lawyers.
Damn right, they've come out in force. We are very much like the punk musicians that were once popular in the 80s, and now it is no longer the 80s, and we realise that the system we used to want to smash is now pretty good at, like, making us money.
Yeah.
So we're sort of stepping away from our radical, anarchist, free-form kind of podcast that we were once doing, and now we are firmly coming down on the side of corporate America. I don't know why I said America, but those two words seem to go together quite nicely for some reason. And we are now the 1%.
Yeah, I mean, this podcast is the very core of a vast business empire.
I'm pretty sure that we can sue for defamation and lost profit. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've decided it is.
Okay, but secretly, I'm quite hurt, and we won't let them know this. Whoever said this, I feel like we may need to step up our game. In order to try and do the show every week, we've slipped into formulaic sort of ways, and that wasn't the original intent of this podcast, and I feel like if we don't correct that now, we're starting on a bit of a dark path that maybe we don't want to see the end of. But that's just between you and me.
I'm certainly going to have a long, hard look at my own decisions and choices once this podcast is over.
I really would. I mean, if you are upside down in the back of a van who's the driver you're not even entirely sure of their name or gender, who is now passed on, and you are bleeding profusely from the legs, from your own weaponry that is now stuck in you, and you've sort of been strung up as if you were in a butcher's shop, when your only solace in the world right now is talking to me, of all people, the man currently occupying a spider dungeon to hide from enraged locals. I forgot where I was going with that. Anyway, I'm sure it'll all be fine.
There were a lot of caveats and addenda to that very long sentence that you just said.
I'll have my lawyers look over it, and we will send it to the personal address of the person who made that comment.
Can I ask you a question about our status in the business world?
Shoot.
Say someone is walking down the street and they're listening to an episode of this podcast, and they sort of don't even say anything. They just very slightly turn their nose up at a comment or note that we have made at some point. Can we then sue them for defamation of character?
I think, in all honesty, and this is not being hyperbolic in any way, I think, as far as we are aware, yes, we definitely have that power. Yes, we can do that time and time over again without consequence. Because I don't want to say that we are above the law, but as you once said, we are just sort of, how to express this without seeming corrupt. The law doesn't apply to us.
To be honest with you, I would just lean into the corruption.
Go full 1%, you're saying?
Yeah, after a certain point, I think it's just cowardly to keep denying your own corruption. And I feel like if you push beyond that stage, if you accept your own corruption and just you're very brazen about it, then you're well on your way to becoming Lex Luthor. And isn't that the dream?
You are right. What happened to the good old days of villains who were just evil and revelled in that evilness?
Yes, I dislike nuance in all its forms. I enjoy things being very obvious. I don't enjoy having to think or consider things about myself or the world in general. I like to be spoon-fed. I dislike having to do any form of mental, psychological, or, I'll be honest, physical work myself.
You don't like effort, is what you're saying. You don't like expending effort.
No, that is why I have teams of people that I pay to expend effort on my behalf. Like, I am not a trained lawyer. I do not know how to practice law. I reckon I could give it a good shot if I put in any single piece of effort at all, but I prefer to not and just pay other people, and that is why capitalism works. Commentary.
Damn right. I, however, do practice the law and medicine. In fact, I think we already mentioned this a few weeks ago. It may have even been last week, about how we are of the generation that were told we could do whatever we liked. So I sort of took that to heart and just started doing whatever I liked. And then apparently that's like, I don't know, you gotta have like licenses for things and permission and authority and recognition and to be designated certain powers, blah, 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 blah. Red tape.
Yeah, in my opinion, that is just the man holding us down, telling us we can't do things when we absolutely can. Like, you know, when you're doing your driving lessons, there is a point where you just can drive, but they want you to pass a test and get a piece of paper that tells the world that you can drive, when really a long time before that you can just drive. I mean, unfortunately, Micro did not have his or her driving license, and that may be part of the reason why I am in my current situation.
Well, let's not speak ill of the dead.
I'm not sure he's 100% dead. There's vague twitching noises coming from somewhere in this van.
Well, I mean, you might want to take care of that, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
Because he's just, a drain. Him being alive and using up oxygen that could be your oxygen. Oh, in fact, you could, this might not work. I'm not a doctor. I don't practice any kind of medicine. But I'm pretty sure that if you're short on blood and you've got a twitching, shuddering, half-dead human being, gender undetermined person right there, you could probably get a straw and stick it in and go to town on that, and that should replenish your own blood, I imagine.
I'm upwards of 98% sure that you are correct in everything you said.
Well, I am a doctor, so
I would like it on the record that I am staunchly pro-euthanasia, but with the caveat that it must be only for my own benefit. If it's euthanasia for the sake of the person who's suffering, blah, 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 not interested. If I get something out of it, absolutely, pull the plug, like immediately, not even a second thought, just whoomp, plug out, dead. Give me money now.
Was that not the principles that this nation, God bless us,
Basingstoke,
was founded on? Your right to exercise your will, and any time that your freedom is infringed upon, you will force upon the state to act out in your best interest. So essentially, you get your way no matter what. As of 5 minutes ago, this podcast is now staunchly and firmly libertarian.
Yep, you can't see it because we're in different locations, but I am currently saluting.
Although don't do that because that's to the state. That's big state. No. We don't like that at all unless it's serving our interest.
I said saluting. My arm is sort of stuck in that position, so I can't really stop myself from saluting. I think there are many broken bones, and it's sort of supported by what appears to be a seat belt. I've also discovered there is currently a lot of blood running up my neck and over my chin, so I think it's probably safe to say that either gravity has reversed in this canyon or I am upside down currently.
I'm hoping that within the next 10 minutes or so you manage to find some rubber hose, a good needle or two, locate the scuffling wherever that's going on, or the twitching, and really sink that fucker right in good in the foot or something, and you can drain that right up, and maybe you'll feel better in about half an hour. Who knows?
Yeah.
And you can trust me because I'm a doctor. Holy shit, are we still on preamble and recriminations and sentiments?
Yes.
Fuck, okay, we gotta move on.
Schemes!
Right, schemes. Last week was a success.
I don't remember anything about last week.
We spoke to the good people at Nurofen. We wrote them a lovely little letter, which I'm now realising we didn't actually read out in full on the podcast, but no matter, we should do that from now on, because that is the funny bit. That's like when people listen to the uninteresting bit of trying to work out something that may or not be entertaining.
Yeah, we sort of broadcast the process, but not the final result.
Oh, well, fuck that. But we've not... I have to confess, we've not yet heard back from the good people at Nurofen. I hope to hear from them soon, but in the meantime, we need to find another partner.
We need to be the business equivalent of swingers.
Yes.
We need to put our business car keys in the business bowl at the business party and have sex with another business.
If I knew more about the economy, I might be educated enough to say that that is a worthy analogy.
Can we say that that is commentary while simultaneously knowing literally nothing about what we're commenting on?
I think that's fine. I think that goes back to week 1 where we said, is it still a reference if no one understands it? What if the people listening to this don't know either? then it must be.
Then we will appear a lot more intelligent than we actually are.
No, they'll rumble us immediately. They'll know we're full of shit. But if they are also lacking in education, they won't have the ability to criticize. They don't know enough in order to tell us where we're wrong. So they'll just have to keep their mouths shut.
I stopped listening halfway through that sentence, but what I'm getting from you is that we are geniuses.
And we are the 1%. So, and as all good 1%ers, we are always scouring the business landscape for, I was going to use an analogy of hunting stuff, but that just means we're going to eat our investors.
That is well known as a bad financial move, I think.
Do you remember our lesson on branding from last week?
No,
I don't really either, but I think it's something to do with we have an image and it's not up to us to tell people what our image is, despite the fact that we do that every single week and we dismiss all other views. But we do have a brand. There are things about us that are apparent, and there are things about us that make us marketable and sellable, apparently. So we need to find the things in the world that would be a good fit for us. So you had the ingenious idea last week of contacting the good people at Nurofen.
I gave myself a full week off after thinking of that idea.
I do have to say, though, I do expect a fairly large check from them, because I've said Nurofen a total of 4 times now, including that one. So, I mean, every single time I mention it, we're just going to have to invoice. The invoices are piling up a little bit. We're going to stop talking about them, and we're going to talk about the next whale. I think that's what they refer to them as, whales.
I've only seen one episode of Mad Men, but I'm pretty sure that's what they refer to them as.
Yeah, whales, which I think is a complimentary term, but don't quote me on that, except I'm going to put it in the subject line of the message, which will be entitled, "We're looking for a new whale."
I think that's a solid opener.
I'm looking specifically at email this time.
We live in a digital world.
Apparently so, I'm told. I wasn't aware of this until you literally just said it, but I think I agree with that. So, subject, we are looking for a new whale. Right, now we need to find someone to send this to. Who do you think would be a good fit for us?
I think it's unfair that you are asking me when I came up with possibly the best idea last week. I think this one should be on you. I've done enough whale hunting for at least another week.
Well, what is our podcast called? I've literally forgotten.
Are we WTF with Mark Maron? Is that us?
We were 1 week.
Oh, we're the Nerdist podcast.
Okay, right. Oh, that's difficult. That doesn't really mean much. I was hoping for... Okay, well, we should rebrand.
Okay.
I'm now going to call the podcast Quality Irrelevant.
I dislike that.
I know, but we're going to have to go with that. But here is the rationale, right? We never said that quality was irrelevant.
We said it once, I think.
I don't remember that.
Oh, in that case, it didn't happen.
Thank you, Phil. Finally, you're on my side. Okay, we're working together. Maybe I'll work a little bit faster to get you out of that scrape now that we're on the same page. Iceland.
The country or the frozen food shop?
Both. Phil, you're a genius. Of course, both. I wasn't thinking of either.
Well, that's another 3 weeks off for me.
So, Iceland. I think the good people at Iceland, I think we're a good fit for them. Because they don't sell just ice, do they? Their land isn't made just of ice, is it?
As far as I'm aware, no, it is not.
So in the same way that quality is irrelevant, what we're really saying is quality is the name of the game.
We are all about quality.
Exactly. Okay, so I'm going to put that. We are all about quality here at Quality Irrelevant.
I think we're very smart in just saying that we're all about quality.
Yeah.
Because we haven't specified whether it is high quality or low quality. We may be all about low quality.
But we won't say that yet.
No, I mean, you don't say that right at the start. Again, you tease them. You know, this is foreplay. We haven't put our business keys in the business bowl yet.
Now, once again, Phil, like a rabid dog, we have stumbled over our own feet in attempting to chase whatever objective our demented minds considered significant in this moment. We need to begin the message. So this is an email. I'm going to begin with Iceland, the supermarket chain, and I'll just probably forward it onto Iceland, the country. I think, we should go after the big fish first. Sorry, the whale.
I would maybe send it to Iceland, the supermarket chain, but just BCC in Iceland, the country.
Okay, I know the difference between CC and BCC.
Yeah, it's a secret. BCC, do you want to send a secret email?
Well, last time we began the letter with Dear, and I don't think that went down too well because we haven't got a response yet. Sorry, I mean, that went down gangbusters, and that's why they haven't responded yet.
I feel we should go in instantly more aggressive. Just maybe, shut up!
Okay, shut up!
Listen to us.
Listen to us.
I think this should be the intro for this podcast, incidentally.
Well, so far it reads like a very awkward and not as aggressive as it wants to. You know, it's not offensive yet. Essentially, this is bad mid-90s white boy rap.
I'm fully okay with that.
Okay, so shut up. Listen to us.
I mean, I'm done now. I'm going on break, I think.
Sorry about that. Didn't mean to come off as a white 90s awkward rapper. Brackets, come off is not a euphemism because we don't like those here. Sorry again. Okay.
We've got them hooked with all that immediate aggression followed by sort of pandering, spineless, overcompensating.
I think that's very appealing in the business sector.
I think so. I think people like that. I think people respond to that. I think it's engaging.
We sort of need to explain to them what's going on here because we sort of leapt into their office brandishing some stationery or something we shouldn't really have, and we've not really sort of introduced ourselves. So I'm going to come in with, this is now a podcast, and we run it. Welcome. This is a big opportunity for you. Well done.
Yeah, everybody likes to be congratulated for things, especially things that they haven't really worked towards at all.
Okay, that's not patronising. I'm just going to end that. That, I think, is fine, just so they know that we're on the same page. What are we actually proposing here?
I don't know. Some sort of business partnership.
Right, okay.
Have you put in the part about us being all about quality yet?
I was going to give them something to grasp hold of, in the same way that you offered your balls to the children in the playground.
It wasn't me. It was Cleves.
When Cleves was having a brain party with those kids.
Yeah, better. Thank you.
He got them out first. So I think we need to do the same. I think we need to get our balls out.
We have to get our business balls out of our business trousers. I was about to say business jeans, but you wouldn't be wearing jeans to a business meeting. Come on.
We are now putting our business balls on the table. Excuse the business jeans. We know we're not supposed to be wearing those, and a sensible pair of slacks. Is that American slacks?
I think it applies.
Okay, would be more appropriate. We are now partners. Is what could happen if you accept.
I do enjoy the fact that just aggressively stating something sort of makes it true.
I think these executive types, these 1%ers, they sort of warm to that. See, I speak the language now, you know, because we're throwing up this 1% facade, the mask that we put on to walk amongst the people at the High Court. So, this is now a lucrative relationship. Sorry, partnership.
Better.
We now share. How does it feel? We need to say that we're aware of who they are and what they do.
I've forgotten whether we're talking about the supermarket chain or the country at this stage.
Oh, God, definitely the supermarket chain.
They are known for terrible food. It's part of their USP. That's unique selling point, in case you weren't aware.
How about this? We are aware of your USP. Sorry if you don't know what that means, but my partner Phil tells me it means unique selling plot. It is great that we can talk business like this with one another and be comfortable. Right. What do we want from them? I mean, some of those frozen jam and cream donuts that they do I'm quite partial to that.
I am an incredible snob, so I do not want any Iceland food. Oh, I would prefer money.
I don't know if you can cook that.
You can. It's sort of a bit useless once it has been cooked, I think. I have never cooked money myself.
I think we need to butter them up a little bit.
Have we not done that already? But we've patronised them and we have said that we like their USP, which we're not 100% sure on what it actually means.
How about this? We love what you offer. Because to you, that means money.
Yes.
But we're not going to say that.
No, I mean, it's gauche to say that you are offering us money.
So I think at this point, we can introduce the concept that we're a good fit. So we say, we love what you offer, and you love us for what we do.
What I would do there is put brackets, definitely.
Okay. Definitely. Okay, we are all about quality here at Quality Irrelevant. Can't you tell? Question mark. So far we've got the first 2 paragraphs ending with question marks, which I think is quite a strong point, right? To end on a question.
Well, yeah, if you provide a question, then you are inviting an answer, which means that if they don't respond to this email, then they are rude and they are dead to me.
I'm going to write, I'm so glad you are not rude, so let us know what we can have from you. I think that's about it. I mean, we do need a flourish at the end, something to really sort of sell. I mean, again, are you sure there's nothing you want from them? I mean, the cold hard cash would be nice, but I don't think they have any cash. I mean, they got, look at
Well,
their
I mean,
adverts.
it's been sort of stuck in my head since the sentiments. I would quite like a moisturised hand to cut my balls in a non-sexually threatening way, just in a sort of a comforting way.
I think I'm going to code that.
I think it's important that you do.
So I'm going to put, Phil really likes his moist creature comforts. Hint, hint. If you know what I mean.
Can you also put brackets, I hope that you sell decent moisturiser.
You better sell decent moisturiser. Close brackets. Sorry, I didn't mean to put words in your mouth there. Did you want the parentheses to end at that point?
I did.
Okay, good. This is spelt all really badly.
That's okay. I feel like they know that we're about quality, so hopefully they will be aware of that and they'll know that if there are spelling errors, then we've obviously done them on purpose.
Okay, so I think at this point we should say thank you, for all the stuff that they're going to give us. So, thank you.
I mean, that's about as straightforward as you can get.
And then our flourish at the end, our sign off. What is it? Quality irrelevant away or something?
Quality irrelevant. Ho, I think.
Ho. Brackets. Not a sexist slur, but more of a
rousing call to action.
Rousing call to action. There we go. Brackets. Not against women.
I think that's important to put as well.
Close brackets, close brackets.
As far as I am aware, from a marketing standpoint, I believe it is appropriate, possibly even encouraged, to just outright say this is a call to action, because you don't want any ambiguity there. You just want to be as sort of plain English as possible.
I think you're right there, so I'm going to write P.S. Sorry for any ambiguity. Just so, we're seeing eye to eye here. Unless they're much shorter than we are, in which case that's all right as well. We're not prejudiced.
I'm very prejudiced against short people.
Well, maybe we should leave that bit out. Okay, I'll put P.S.S. Phil likes people he can see eye to eye with. There, that's not a threat. I'm just going to, that's not a threat.
Can we enclose some form of razor blade?
Oh,
with this
no.
email? Is that possible?
I think as soon as you mention the razor blades, then this gets handed off to the police, the constabulary, and they've got a very thick file on me already. So, and I mean, you don't necessarily come across... You look, Phil, we are business partners, apparently. So I think in terms of a business perspective, you come off great here. This is gold. From an ethical or moral standpoint, or a lawful standpoint, this probably shouldn't be seen by any law enforcement officer of any kind.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, that is yet another example of the man just holding us down and gently dipping their testicles into our faces.
Okay, so I think we should tell them that. PSSS, down with the man and all that. I think that's about it. How do you email Iceland? I think it's Dear Iceland, one word, @iceland.com.
Is it .com? I think it might be .gov.
Or is it .Iceland? Like they've got their own? Like how we've got .co.uk? We're in the UK, by the way.
It might be .Iceland.
Well, should I go from the top? Because I'm pretty proud of this.
I think you should read it all out.
Okay, so... Shut up. Listen to us. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to come off as an awkward white 90s rapper. Brackets, come off is not a euphemism because we don't like those here. Sorry again, close brackets. This is now a podcast and we run it. Welcome. This is a big opportunity for you. Well done. That's not patronising. We are now putting our business balls on the table. Excuse the business jeans. We know we're not supposed to be wearing those and a sensible pair of slacks will be more appropriate. We are now partners, is what could happen if you accept. This is now a lucrative relationship. Sorry, partnership, we now share. How does it feel? We are aware of your USP, brackets, sorry if you don't know what that means, but my partner Phil tells me it means unique selling plot, close brackets. It is great that we can talk business like this with one another and be comfortable. We love what you offer, and you love us for what we do, brackets, definitely, close brackets. We are all about quality here at Quality Irrelevant. Can't you tell? I'm so glad you are not rude. So let us know what we can have from you. Phil really likes his moist creature comforts, brackets, hint hint, if you know what I mean, close brackets, you better sell decent moisturiser, close brackets. Thank you. Quality Irrelevant, ho! Brackets, not a sexist slur, but more of a rousing call to action, brackets, not against women, close brackets, close brackets. PS, sorry for any ambiguity. PSS, Phil likes people he can see eye to eye with, brackets, that's not a threat, close brackets. PSSS, down with the man and all that.
I was literally laughing all the way through that. I think it's a good letter. Just from you reading it all out in one go, I feel like it needs something about the fact that we are actually Nigerian princes and that we have a massive yacht to give away.
Okay, how about this? I don't want to touch the integrity of the message so far, so I'm going to PSSSS. My massive yacht is for sale. Details enclosed with my Nigerian prince. Mazel tov. There.
Good. Well, I can see literally no reason why that wouldn't work.
I mean, we're already very, very successful, but I think this may just sort of tip us over the edge into unimaginable quantities of wealth.
Yeah. I mean, a partnership with Iceland, the supermarket, the sky is just the limit.
Yeah. BCC Iceland, the country, which again, I think has the same email address.
Same or similar.
I'll put Iceland dear at iceland.iceland.
I think that will be absolutely fine. I think that'll get where it needs to go. No problem.
So hopefully we'll get a response from that next week. No, we won't.
The best end to that section. I hope this thing will happen. It definitely won't.
Well, you never know. Schemes, bloody hell. Did you definitely not prepare anything this week?
I didn't prepare anything.
Okay, that's good, because I have another scheme.
I'm interested to hear your scheme.
Okay, Phil, we've been the 1% so far. We were corporate Britain. Yeah, we were the Conservative Party.
Very much so.
We're in with the Tories and the old boys. This week we're rubbing shoulders with the likes of Iceland. And last week we were selling glass for people to drink or something. So we're done with that. We've made our money. We've profited. We've reaped what we can sow. And now it's time to do some good, to give back.
I think it's past time, if anything.
Some charity, get behind a cause that we can all believe in, right? Are you pumped, Phil?
Something. Blood leaving face and leg.
Phil, suck up the blood from that dying boy and get on the bandwagon here, because I need you for this. Beforehand, it was all fun and games. It was for profit. Now, this could be the most important thing we've ever done.
But the straw is not long enough. I'm trying.
Well, if you start drinking your own blood, I think that should give you a little bit of good, like a little bit of a boost.
Okay.
I am a doctor, so, if you start drinking your own blood, that won't make you sick. It's absolutely fine.
Okay, I'm going to do that.
I have found a way. I have found a way that we can improve the world we live in. Making the world a better place, I think, is the phrase that gets thrown around.
Many people would argue that is doing good.
Yes. So, Phil.
Yes.
Who is my favourite actor?
Brad Dourif.
Good guess, but no.
Michael Clark Duncan.
He's dead. That's a shame. We can't do a lot of good with the dead this week.
Dolph Lundgren.
I'm gonna help you out here, because I feel like the grave is rapidly approaching upon us. Patrick Fabian.
I know who that is.
I know who he is as well. He is my favourite actor this minute.
I'm definitely not currently Googling him.
I really like him. Others may know him. He's on Better Call Saul, is potentially the most well-known thing he's doing at the minute.
I don't think anybody knows what that is.
Well, okay, yeah, there's a bit of a niche show.
It's nowhere near as popular as this podcast.
Okay, well, we'd like to give a shout-out to those not doing as well as us. Phil, all right? We can use our power here. We're doing good, remember. This is what we're here for.
Oh, is this a plug for Better Call Saul?
No, because I expect a check.
Oh, okay. So it is a plug, but not an altruistic plug.
Oh, altruism.
I know, stupid of me, really.
Anyway, Patrick Fabian. He is also known for starring as the lead in The Last Exorcism, which was a film I quite enjoyed. It is one of those sad little broken films that is quite charming in its own way, but just kind of shits the bed in the third act and really doesn't stick the landing. But regardless of the flaws with the film, in fact, I should do a film review of that one week, Patrick Fabian is very good in it, and I quite like him. And he strikes me as the type of actor who's never really got off the ground in the way that he should. He's been in a lot of TV work. People will recognise him from the CSI and such. He's been on the 24 and those sorts of shows.
This is just from memory. His first TV role, I believe, was in Bodies of Evidence in 1992. That was quite a long time ago.
So he's been on the scene for a while. He's done some stage work and he's always very cheerful in interviews and stuff, but he hasn't made it yet. And I'm sure he's listening, and I don't want to offend the man, but time is ticking. He's no spring chicken.
We don't want to sort of single people out on this, but Patrick Fabian, you are 51 years old and your career is a joke. Stop this.
Phil.
Be better at your job, you fuck.
Phil, we're doing good, remember?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I think drinking my own blood has done something weird to me.
Yeah, okay, you may get scabies, I think, but...
How is a wendigo created? I think I might be becoming a wendigo.
I think that is absolutely fine for the purposes of this podcast.
Oh, okay, cool. Let's move on. Sorry about my comments about Patrick Fabian's career.
Yeah, I'm annoyed he doesn't have the career he deserves. So I think we should make our mission, we should use the power that we've built up, this momentum, this force that this podcast is, we should use it for some good and give Patrick Fabian the career he deserves. What do you think? Are you with me?
I'm with you, but I don't know how we would even go about starting doing that.
Well, I have some ideas. And maybe in the future, we will do this again. And as a potential weekly thing, we will propose how we can improve Patrick Fabian's career. God damn it. For God's sake, come on. Let's do some good here. Make the world a better place. Specifically for Patrick Fabian. the most important of all of us.
We are all in the shadow cast by Patrick Fabian. We exist in the darkness.
So I'm going to take that as part of your rallying cry that you're on board with this. That this, if we're going to do one good thing, and let's face it, we only really want to do one good thing because the rest of it is selfish. We want to be the 1%. But if we're going to do one good thing, like how a child army will do the laundry of one of 50 villages or something, and the other 49 they burn down or something, to do a bit of that PR, that sort of redemption, like, oh, they're not that bad, those shirts are clean. So
if we do literally 1,000 terrible, unethical, inhumane things, but while we're doing that, we make Patrick Fabian a little bit more successful, are we then philanthropists?
I think we are. And I have to admit at this point, the shard of ice that is sort of located where my heart should be, I think that would thaw just a little if we brought a smile to Patrick Fabian's face. And I have to admit, I'm actually being a bit serious here. I genuinely think he's good, and I actually really want him to do well. I really like him as an actor, and I think he should be in more things, and it's a little bit of a shame that he's not quite got the success that he deserves. The downside is, even though I really want him to do well, I can't help myself and I can't pursue this goal seriously. And so I worry that even by mentioning him and any attempts or schemes we come up with will just end up hurting him.
I feel like it's more likely that we will sort of hobble his career than do anything at all positive for it.
I'm sorry, Patrick, but we're gonna do this. There's no getting out of this. And that is the tragedy of my life, that even though I genuinely want something, I cannot pass up a chance to scupper myself for my own amusement, and including anyone in between me and what I think is funny. So even if our goal is to get Patrick Fabian the career he deserves, if the price we have to pay is the career that Patrick Fabian already has, I am willing to pay that price. God damn it. That is a price I am willing to pay.
We are fully willing to sacrifice what career Patrick Fabian does have in the pursuit of possibly a slightly more successful career.
Do you know what I'm going to do?
What are you going to do?
The first thing I'm going to do, and you should all do this, right? I am going on Twitter. Have you heard of this? The Twitter?
I don't engage with that sort of thing.
Well, I have found who I believe to be Patrick Fabian. It looks like him, and it's verified, and it's got his name and picture and all the details and lots of tweets of him standing on the set of Better Call Saul. So I think that may be him. I am going to follow him, right? So Quality Irrelevant is now following Patrick Fabian. It has begun.
I am now also following Patrick Fabian.
The die has been cast.
I am helping.
Yes, so we wish the world for him. Hopefully, success and good fortune will rain down upon his golden head, which is literally golden. Like his skin and hair both seem to have the sort of the gleam of gold. So that can only be a good thing, right? That's not like you've got some liver disease or something like that. That is a sign of health, I believe, yeah?
I think so. Resembling a precious metal in skin and hair tone, I believe that is definitely a sign of rude health.
So, first idea for Mr. Fabian to improve his career. Dog sausage.
I don't know what that would even begin to describe.
Okay, I'm a little bit upset by that.
I feel okay with it.
Okay, what I should really have said is Patrick Fabian's dog sausage. How about presents dog sausage? Actually, I like the first one. Patrick Fabian's dog sausage.
Again, I'm still unsure about what.
Let's say it's a film.
Okay.
Right? We can split up into a TV show, but I think we can launch him, on the big screen. Pretend he wasn't in any other films. That exorcism film, what was it? Exorcist or something? Doesn't matter. That's gone. That's in the trash now. Patrick Fabian's debut role in Dog Sausage. Is that clearer now?
Yes.
Okay, good. What do you think about it?
I mean, based on just the title, I feel like it will be comparable to Citizen Kane in terms of iconic stature within the film industry.
It's clever, right? Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but there are these things called sausage dogs.
I don't follow popular culture, I'm afraid.
Yeah, well, they were all the rage at one point. So this is an inversion of that. You see? Dog sausage.
I understand.
You don't seem as sold on this idea, okay? So
I'll be honest, you haven't given me too much to go on. You've given me some words.
All right, pretend you are a producer.
I'm imagining myself with a very large cigar. My name is Mr. Hollywood.
How about it's Mr. Big Bucks Hollywood?
Mr. Big Bucks Hollywood McShulgowitz.
Jesus, okay. Well, I don't know if I can remember all that. So you are in your office, your grandiose, important Mr. Big Bucks office. Your desk is made of mahogany.
Only the finest.
And I'm going to pitch to you this idea that I've got, okay? So I'm just a lowly scum writer, agent, Hollywood man type.
Hey, what are you doing in my office? How did you get in here? Security!
Oh, no,
Security!
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't like your face. Get out of here.
Please, Mr. Okay, look, I've got...
Your voice is making my penis go inside my body. Get out of my office. The hard way.
Just take a look. I've got these papers here, and are you familiar with Patrick Fabian?
Papers? What the fuck? This is a digital medium now. Get me an email.
You're burning me with your cigar.
Show me something on some kind of iPad. I don't want to see no fucking papers.
Dog sausage.
Kid, you got me sold. I think this is gonna be the next big thing. Who's Patrick Fabian?
Well, he's a very talented young actor. Not quite had the career he wants, but he's very good. He's on the Better Called Saul.
What the fuck? I don't watch TV. Get the fuck out of my office.
It's called Dog Sausage.
I like it, but I hate you. I'm very conflicted about this picture.
If you okay this, I will fire myself and you'll never see me again.
I want to fire you out of a fucking cannon into the sun, you schmuck. I hate you.
But Patrick...
I wish physical harm upon you.
Can I have the money for Dog Sausage?
Of course you can. Just speak to my agent. I have an agent. It makes no sense in the hierarchy of the Hollywood studio.
What's your agent's name? Can I get his, or her? Sorry, I didn't mean to be sexist.
Motherfucker, you sexist, get out of my office.
But can I have the details?
I'm just kidding, I'm a sexist too. I would never hire no woman as my agent. My agent is called Marty. That's with 17 Y's, you goddamn sad motherfucker.
Marty. Do you happen to know if he's...
That was 18. Take one of the Y's off.
Oh, shit.
You'd never be able to find him if you use 18 Y's.
Okay. So is that like his whole name? Well, I suppose it's pretty distinctive. If I Google this, will I get...
This is Hollywood, kid. People don't got normal names anywhere. Did you even hear my name? My name was Mr. Big Bucks Hollywood McShulgowitz. That ain't no normal name. I was teased mercilessly at school. I was teased mercilessly when I joined this industry, but I worked my way up to the top. I worked my way up the slippery pole and fucking shoved my fist so far up my boss's ass that he exploded. Now I'm in the big money business, although I'll be honest, I have never seen a film on the big screen. I just throw money at people that I like and more money at people I don't like, because I like to mix this business up, you motherfucker.
So did you like Dog Sausage or not? Like, I mean, it's got... did your parents name you that? Is that your full name from birth?
That's not important. My parents were, they were businessmen.
Both of them?
Both of them. It's very confusing. I have a rich and complex backstory that we don't have time to get into right now. But the long and short of it, kid, is I fucking hate your idea for fucking dog sausage, but I think it's gonna be the next big thing, and I'm gonna give you $17 bazillion for it.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's more than enough. I mean, in fact,
as long as you're not involved.
Yep. I'll let Mr. Fabian know that I've been let go. He'll be sad to see me go. But...
And as long as the contract that you signed to get the money is also a copy of your suicide note, I want you to be dead but I want this movie to get made. Even though I hate it, and I hate you.
I don't know what I'm going to tell Brenda, but
I've been sad for 7 months. I'm sad right now.
I mean, smoking can cause depression, and anxiety problems. See a therapist about that.
I don't need to see no fucking therapist.
Oh, I thought you were opening up there for a minute, but sounds like you've got.
I'm sorry. I had a bit of phlegm from the cigar. I don't know why I smoke them so big. It's inappropriately sized. Is my cigar. Now get out of my office and leave the script. And take the money and make the movie, but kill yourself. I'm gonna go check into some sort of institution. I have massive substance abuse problems. I've just spent the past 10 minutes talking like this and drawing a dick on my computer. I think I'm bleeding out. Good fucking luck editing this, you son of a bitch.
I feel like the walls of boundaries of reality are sort of bled into one another at this point.
I don't know what's real.
Well, I think we just had a very successful meeting between a Hollywood film mogul and someone pitching a fairly nebulous and ill-thought-out concept.
Well, just cut a long story short, is Patrick Fabian now the most famous actor of all time?
I'm going to check his Twitter. He's got 2 more followers.
Is that us, though?
It literally is.
Well, how often does the average Joe think about Patrick Fabian?
I wanted to bring about a new zeitgeist.
You wanted some form of media revolution, all centred around Patrick Fabian.
Yeah, some kind of paradigm shift, as it were. I don't necessarily think that Patrick Fabian should be at the forefront of this movement, but I think he plays a significant role. Who else?
Was that a rhetorical question, or do you want me to answer?
Both.
Who else? I think Brad Dourif should be more famous. He's weird.
I feel like he already has a career, though.
Does he, though?
He was in Deadwood.
Are you Googling Brad Dourif career ?
I like Deadwood.
I've just Googled exactly those words I just said.
If it weren't for Deadwood, I would be attempting to do the very same thing we're doing now with Ian McShane.
Ian McShane is good and underrated, I think.
Although he was in that John Wick, which had the Keanu Reeves in it.
Keanu Reeves. I've just Googled Brad Dourif career ? And one of the results that comes up is Brad Dourif, best supporting creep who shines in the shadows.
You know what? I'm still firmly on this Patrick Fabian thing, but I do like the idea of him having a cohort of fellow actors and entertainers who also need a bit of a bump. So anytime we pitch a role for Patrick Fabian, no doubt there will be others who need to be involved. So, for instance, in Dog Sausage, we need someone to play the sausage. So how about we get the budget Brad Dourif, and I've forgotten his name. I think he had a brief role in the recent Spider-Man films as the shadowy figure in the hat.
I remember the character, I do not remember the actor.
Well, exactly. Thank you for proving my point. Who is that guy? Shouldn't he be the next guy in the film?
He should. His name is Michael Massey.
Michael Massey, right. So, I mean, he's now... Who the fuck is Michael Massey?
He was in The Crow. Remember that movie where someone literally died on set?
Oh, yeah, that was a shame. Brendan Lee got shot with a bit of metal.
There is a link between the two actors we've been speaking about.
Holy shit.
Because Michael Massey also in The 24.
It's happening.
It's all coming together.
Exactly right. This is fucking brilliant. And I really, really hope we don't cause him any harm. Particularly poor little Patrick Fabian with his perfect little smile there, because he deserves the world and he does not have it.
I'm beginning to think that you just have a crush on Patrick Fabian.
I think it's more as a father would consider a son-like figure.
You have a paternal instinct towards Patrick Fabian.
Yes.
A man basically twice your age.
I think that's a little bit ageist.
That a man twice your age couldn't be your son. There are many things that a man twice your age can be. I don't want to take anything away from people who are older. I don't think it's fair to do that, but I can say for a fact, without prejudice, that a man who is twice your age cannot ever be your son.
Maybe we're just not on the same page. You know, I consider you a peer, an enlightened peer, but maybe you've got a little bit of growing there to do.
Well, maybe I will spend the next few episodes trying to absolutely torch Patrick Fabian's career just to get back at you for being a penis.
I think that you could do exactly that by going along with my original idea. I almost feel like there is no difference between the two ideas you just laid out, that in attempting to pitch good ideas to Patrick Fabian, we will probably bring about his death by his own hand.
So we have opposing goals, but identical methods to reach those goals.
I think so, yeah.
I can't think of any other situation where that would be the case.
No, but we just made one. So that is a gauntlet I've laid down. The sky's the limit.
Apart from space, which is above sky, as we all know.
Well, as I'm trying to launch him to stardom, we both come up with the same plan of basically shooting him into space. Me hoping that he will become a star, and you hoping that his head will pop.
I think that is where we're going. I think that's going to be the final episode of Quality Irrelevant. We'll climax with Patrick Fabian being shot into space to either shine like the star that you think he is or die in insignificance. I'm going to say now I don't wish death upon Patrick Fabian.
Just to clarify.
I just wish abject failure on all parts of his career purely for the purpose of shoving your face in it. I think I'm a good person.
Poor little Patrick Fabian. He knows not. He knows not.
Little golden-haired angel.
I feel edgy. You know, I can't keep going about Patrick Fabian. I really do like him, but we've done him a lot of harm this week. I think we got to end it there. Journal.
Fuck.
My sleepy dream time journal time. You're all aware of the concept now. Sometimes I write in a book when my brain is flopping around in a place it shouldn't be. And now I read it on reflection, not recognising any of my ideas, and we attempt to interpret and go through. And it's proved to be very... I don't know, what word would you use to describe it?
Revealing.
Revealing.
Terrifying. A harrowing journey into your psyche.
Harrowing is probably the word of this podcast.
Yeah.
It comes up a lot. I had a page prepared. We got another drawing, what I've sort of come up with here, right? It's not so much an invention, but it's almost like a business idea.
I'm not sure anything in the world could possibly prepare me for whatever absolute hell is going to come spewing forth from your journal.
Are you aware of...
Just ignore that. Just skate straight past.
Yeah. Plow straight through.
The word of the day is denial.
Sesame Street doesn't come up until 3-4 weeks from now, so...
Oh, shit, sorry.
Right. Are you aware of the, how to be politically correct, the vagrant community? The sans home community?
The homeless. Is that a word that only they can use?
I think they're taking it back, but I would feel a little bit bad just saying the word homeless again and again in this section. So I'm attempting to inject it with other words that we can use so we can sprinkle the discrimination around a little bit.
Use wanderer.
Wanderer.
Yeah, you can have homely challenged. Any of these options.
Some of these people, they're just out of work. These are people who have sort of fallen by the wayside. They have become victims of the inherent flaws in the society that we live in. But that doesn't mean that they can't have hopes and dreams and full lives, Phil, and are not people as you or I. Phil, are you aware of this? I think Phil's passed out because of the blood loss. Anyway... the homeless could use some motivation because, we're being libertarian here, which means all you need is motivation to get out of your situation. It's your fault that your life is no good. It's your fault that you don't have the possessions you need in order to survive. It's your fault that you suffer. You must like it or you just can't be bothered. So rather than giving them resources or money or charity or care or medical attention, any of these things, what we give them is firm motivation, a reason to live, a reason to continue on, a reason to get up in the morning. Are you aware of chariots? I'm not continuing until you give me an answer.
What? I was aiming for a full minute there.
I do not think you've missed anything of any substance.
I never expected I would. I thought I didn't really pass out. I just sort of had a quick nap.
That's fine. Keep drinking the blood. Make sure you swill it around a bit in the back of your mouth. Are you aware of chariots?
I am aware of chariots in the gladiatorial sense.
Right. Where do the vagabonds hang out?
Under bridges.
So we find a fucking bridge, right? We find a bridge and we go to it. I suspect that we'll need some sort of protection because some of the Sans home community do get a little bit bitey. So I'm going to go into my kitchen and sort of lash all the pots and pans and trays I can find to my body. I'm essentially going to make armor out of kitchenware.
I think I'm going to protect myself in a different way, which is I'm not going to go.
Or you could be up above the bridge, like getting an ice cream from a stall or something.
I do like ice cream, and it is best savoured atop a bridge.
You can be enjoying your ice cream on top of a bridge. I will be dressed in my kitchenware armor, and I will be banging a frying pan with like a wooden spoon.
Is this all in the drawing?
I kind of forgot about the drawing.
Fucking hell.
I was just interpreting what this must mean. All it says is homelesses, and then it's got a drawing of a stick man on like what appears to be like a wooden vehicle of some kind with two wheels and then a whip. And then, like, about 4 bedraggled people pulling the vehicle along the ground, as it were, propelling it forward.
So it is a chariot pulled by homeless people?
Essentially, yes, but I'm wearing armour.
Pots and pans armour?
Well, in the drawing, it's not clear, but that's the only metal I own, so I'm not sure where else I'm going to source the armour from. I hear it's quite expensive.
Just out of curiosity, did you want me to get you an ice cream?
Yeah, can you get me a double 99 with flake in each, please?
Okay, I will do that. I will then drop it off the bridge. You will have to catch it.
I'll just take off my helm and it will splat in there.
Yep, nice pan of ice cream.
I'm not going to share it with the homelesses. Is that rude? But they might have... I mean, we already mentioned scabies earlier today, and I've got that on the mind at the minute, and I don't feel like sharing a eating utensil or anything of mine with those lower in society than me. Is that fair?
No, but I understand.
So, I'm banging the pan with my wooden spoon to round them up. So if one tries to sort of like run in one direction, I'll sort of bang, 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 bang on that side, and he'll sort of have to maneuver back towards the rest of the herd. And then actually, you'll be quite good at this from your bridge vantage point. You can just start sort of like lobbing ropes down, and then when we've got a few, I'll put them on the gurney or something. I've got a gurney, and then we'll take them for chariot training at the old disused dog racing track.
The one in Basingstoke.
There must be one in Basingstoke.
Is there also a bridge in Basingstoke?
There must be a bridge in Basingstoke.
I know there's a canyon near Basingstoke. Don't ask me how I know that.
I've no idea how you could possibly know that. Would the homelesses live near the canyon? They probably don't, because I hear there was a nasty crash around there at one point, and not that safe these days.
No, I mean, that's mostly because of the cannibal tribes that live in the canyon, I think.
If you eat someone's blood, does that count as cannibalism? Because you might have an in there.
It counts as it's vampirism. There's a very fine difference, but it makes all the difference.
Oh, so they don't sort of like knock about those two groups, they don't sort of get on.
No, they're sort of like the Bloods and the Crips. the vampires and the cannibals. There's like similar interests there. You can find a sort of a thread of commonality between the two, but they thoroughly dislike each other. There's a gang war between vampires and cannibals in the canyon outside Basingstoke. I'm a bit worried about my current situation.
You're standing with these two groups, yeah.
I'm sort of dangling between them, which I feel is probably the worst place to be.
Are they jeering up at you, or are they sort of looking quite kind of hungry, like waiting for you to drop?
One group is looking hungry, one group is looking thirsty. It's unfortunate that this situation has happened when I am both bleeding profusely and simultaneously made of meat.
Do you think that they would be scared away if a chariot were to sort of like ride over the horizon with a deranged looking man riding with a whip in one hand, lashing the poor sods who are pulling the chariot? And if not, would they perchance be scared if I set the chariot aflame? Like a power move, like a display of the threat that I pose.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's worth a try. Anything's better than being simultaneously drained of all my blood and eaten by two different groups of people who are like fighting over my cadaver. I can see them down there at the moment. They're fighting over which group gets to sort of ravage my remains first. It's quite brutal. There's a lot of scratching.
Can I put in a bid, or do you think they don't quite have that system in place?
It doesn't seem that sophisticated.
Damn it, because I could use a good femur.
There's a lot of biting and scratching. I mean, they might end up killing each other. Like, there might be some horrible massacre going on down there.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I can probably pick up a femur from one of those then.
I'd imagine so. It might be horribly deformed, but there you go. You beggars can't be choosers when it comes to femurs.
Cool. Well, I'll just get my vagrants to... There's a term for it when you steal from the dead of a battlefield.
Pillage.
Carpetbaggers. That's it.
Carpetbaggers.
Yeah, I think it's from the American Civil War, where people would lash carpets into bags and then steal from the dead.
American Civil War, I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, it is all the rage.
I've told you I don't follow pop culture, so I don't know what that would be.
So out of touch. Anyway, so I'll just steal from there. So actually, the chariot homelesses actually turned out all right. But I am still waiting on my ice cream, so if you drop that down anytime soon, that'd be good. Because I promised I'd give half of one of the flakes to one of the vagrants. I'm not, but he works harder if, it's in sight.
I don't know what that section was.
I don't know either, but I like the fact that I made sense of my little drawing, so that's fine. Phil, guess what? We still haven't got onto the quandaries.
We're the worst.
Oh, God.
I think the issue that we face is that every fucking week you add a new section. Like, suddenly we're doing the journal thing every week.
Yeah.
Now we're making Patrick Fabian famous every week. We're now writing letters to companies to make us money every week. We used to have 3 sections. Now we've got about 6.
Okay, I will make a deal with you.
Okay.
These are all regular sections, but I'm only allowed to do 1. And we're allowed to sort of like contribute where we want, come up with a thing, and if we don't feel like it, we won't do it. But if we want a little bit of Patrick Fabian that week, maybe we get a little bit of Patrick Fabian that week. If I come across something interesting in my journal, maybe we do a little bit of the journal. If we come across a business idea, maybe we'll do a little bit of business.
Okay, you can have 1, and we will do it on rotation.
And I expect you to contribute now and then as well. I mean, Patrick Fabian will go hungry otherwise, and letters will go unsent.
I will do some work for Patrick Fabian's career for the next episode.
God damn it, quandaries. Quickly.
Say the name of the quandary, I'll agree, then maybe say something aggressive towards you, and then we'll just end.
Unfortunately, that's not going to cut the cheese this week.
Well, fuck you. Fuck you, and fuck everyone listening to this podcast. I hate everything. I'm nearly dead over here. I've lost the will to do anything.
You know what? So have I.
I'm going to help us out here.
All right.
Okay. What I'm going to do, I've added a week. So we're bumping it. So this week, I'm going to say it was called Patrick Fabian's career.
Okay.
Then next week, we can do non-binary.
Damn it, I thought we got out of that one. But yeah, cool. Right, yeah, we will do that then.
You're only allowed one section.
I think that is a very clever thing you just did, where you bumped the list up, because I think this is a way to properly drive us mental.
Yeah, it's a way that we will never get to the end of the list.
At least it does mean we don't miss important weeks, because I feel like out of all of these, we only properly did autumn.
We did a little bit of Scared.
Scared was good. Scared had some good stuff. Types, I have not listened back to that podcast yet. No idea.
We didn't talk about types because you thought it was journal.
Oh shit, yeah. So we had 2 weeks of journal. The thing is, week 1, I had nothing and thinking we're probably not even going to be able to get through this. And we actually slapped together a pretty good podcast. I now actually have content. Not good content, but content. And we just don't have time for ideas.
No.
Fuck it. End it there. Have you got anything good to end on? Any sort of anything we can...
No, I did an impression of a Hollywood guy for 10 minutes and that kind of took it out of me a little bit.
Yeah, that was quite full on.
You might notice when you're editing a noticeable dip in energy from me after that.
I think that we're going to have a donate button so you can have some sort of chip installed in your head. So when I feel that you're flagging, I can release
endorphins.
Yeah, or at least an image of a T-Rex will flash in front of your eyes just to wake you up.
So I get lots of sections in the podcast of you just going, what do you think, Phil? Phil, what do you think? And then me just going, yeah, I agree. What?